Welcome to the Don't Call Me Midlife podcast.
Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Alex.
Happy Thursday. Happy holidays. Happy holiday hustle. All the things.
Happy hustle bustle. Yes, you too.
Hustle bustle. Are you hustling? What are you doing?
Well, I'm here with you, so I'm not hustling. I hustled this morning, got a whole bunch of errands done, worked out, and now I'm here. I'm just trying to relax with my.
That's awesome. This is a relaxing time for us to talk.
It is.
I actually went and got a manicure with a friend today and was saying, I love this time. And for those listening, I hope this is the same for you, that to take the time, even during this busy holiday season, to think about being our age and the things that we're going through, the things that are challenging for us. And I feel like I've learned so much about myself just from even recording the podcast. Do you feel the same way?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I've learned so much about myself, and I feel like I've learned things about you. And actually, I think you told me recently that one of your friends was listening, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I just learned something new about you." And
Yes.
I hear that too.
Friends,
Yeah.
my friends are like, and these are people that know me well, Nicole, that are like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm learning. So if you're listening and you learn something new about us, let us know what that is, because we're actually curious.
Yeah. Exactly.
What are the new things? So what is in your cup today?
Okay, let me tell you. I just made it. I haven't even tried it, but look at my mug. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. But if not, let me just explain it really quick. I'll tell you what's in my cup. Alex got me the cutest mug, and it is our picture with like a little brand photo, and it says "Don't Call Me Midlife," and on the other side it says "Dream it, plan it, do it," and I love it. It's got like a gold handle and us. But what's inside is I have coffee, and then it's like a scoop of mushroom powder coffee that I received in the mail. So I'm going to try it live, and it's like
Wait, for free?
Yeah. They're like, go ahead, try it.
Okay.
Like,
So sip that.
yeah,
That'll be
okay.
interesting. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, I'm watching you. Oh.
No. I was just like waiting for a taste, but it just tastes like my normal coffee.
What is it supposed to do?
Oh, don't put me on the spot. I don't know, because I don't like.
It's like medicinal
I'll put it in
mushrooms.
The show notes. Yeah, it's like
maybe they put medicinal mushrooms in there.
Maybe. Well, this could get interesting.
This could get interesting.
No, we'll talk about the benefits in the show notes because I don't remember.
Okay, well, you tried it. You like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Good for you.
Yes, and if I feel good, I'll put the link as to where the coffee's from.
If we remember, yeah.
Yeah, if we remember. But I should remember. So tell me what's in your cup, Alex.
I have coffee, of course, too. I could drink a lot of coffee. But I just got this fun nut pod. It's like cookie butter. Do you use nut pods?
I do use nut pods. I have a French vanilla in mine.
Oh.
Yeah, I've tried the cookie butter. I have a
Is
favorite.
it good?
I like it. I like the cinnamon swirl the most.
Oh, I almost got that.
Yeah, it's really good. Do you like cinnamon? Like a lot?
I do. I do. You know, I don't ever really drink a lot of stuff in my coffee, but since being health and wellness coach and talking about sort of intermittent fasting and being, trying to be gluten and dairy free, everyone asks me about dairy free creamers. And so now I like to try them all so I can recommend them. So I try all the flavors of the nut pods because it makes you feel like you're having like a special coffee, I guess.
Yes. I like the nut pods too, and I've learned so much from watching you. But I like to put cinnamon. Like if I go to a coffee place like Starbucks, I'll ask them to steam cinnamon in my latte. So you kind of you get a flavor, but you don't get if you're trying to watch your calorie or your macros,
or sugar,
yeah, all that stuff. It gives a little flavor, and it takes away some of the bitterness from the coffee too. So.
Oh, I like that because Starbucks, I feel like, has all the sprinkles and all that stuff. So you have to watch. Like I was going to order a drink and they asked me if I wanted whipped cream on it. And I was like, no, I do not. Not that I don't like it. No. I just didn't even know that coffee had whipped cream on it. So
yeah. Oh, I love whipped cream on my coffee, but that's...
Oh gosh. Okay. I learned something new about you today.
Oh, okay. So our episode today, this is a heavy one. But I think it's a good one to have.
Mm-hmm.
We recently got an email. Actually, we've gotten a couple, I'll be honest,
Yeah.
about how to handle in-laws around the holidays. And,
Mm-hmm.
that is a tough one for a lot of people and a lot of people that I know. So I I empathize with you ladies that don't have strong relationships with their mother-in-laws. But there was one that stuck out in particular that I feel like, would be a good thing to kind of have as a discussion, and maybe some of the ladies listening could, um,
Relate.
learn relate. Yes, thank you. I love when you know that I'm losing my words. You're like throw
I'll
it out
just
there.
I will just step in for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Nicole is really good about reading all our emails. So
Mhm.
we love hearing from you topics. We love hearing about topics from you. So, if you ever want to send in a topic, just send it to our Gmail, which is don't call me midlife at gmail.com. And Nicole will check that. That's one of, she's good at doing that. I'm not, but, okay. So tell us a little bit more. They just asked about how do we deal with in-laws, if you have a tricky relationship, or what was it?
Well, this one it was a very controlling mother-in-law, and
Oh,
she, wants to continue her traditions. And this this woman has been married for at least, I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but somewhere around 10, 15 years. Like they have children. She wants traditions of her own, and it's causing a lot of stress between her and her husband. And of course, she wants to have like things going on in her own home, but at the same time she wants to honor her husband and her mother-in-law
mm-hmm.
and her own family. So she has her own mom. So she wanted to know if we had any advice for her
Mm-hmm.
on this topic. So
That's tough.
that is
I think
tough.
that's a hard situation around the holidays. And I don't just say this, but I have a great mother-in-law. I have and my mom is the one that
Mhm.
sort of drives me crazy. So um my question is, in this situation, Nicole, what are your thoughts about, I feel like in some of these situations, and with mother-in-laws in particular, it's like you
Mhm.
sort of need to get your husband involved, right? If it's his mom, I don't want to
Mhm.
overstep my bounds, right? Once, when we're
Agreed.
married, we're a team, right? And I think, we both view that. And as we get older, I feel like not more and more Alex are on the same page, but we see things very similarly, right? When you first get married, you're like, well, my family did this, my family did this, and this is the way I grew
Mhm.
up. But
Mhm.
I've been married for 18 years. Now it's like, okay, we have started, from the beginning, talked about
Mhm.
what we want for our family, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think if you've got tricky in laws, tricky sister in laws, tricky whoever is in your family, right?
Mhm.
Brother in laws, you have to get the person who's the immediate family member involved, right?
Oh, yes, I agree. Because it's just going to cause conflict and resentment. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I have a friend that was in a very similar situation. This is probably why I picked the topic, because I also had a wonderful mother-in-law. God rest her soul. She's no longer with us, but
Mm-hmm.
she was not controlling, and she was very much like, whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
do, this is your life.
Yeah.
And so anyway, what happened was her husband did not like defend her. So I
Oh,
think a part of it is just communicating with your husband, like saying, this is
yes.
the issue, and there's always like, I find these like triangle points in relationships. Like it's not so direct. Like if you can't feel like you could go to your mother-in-law and have a candid conversation,
Yeah.
sometimes you go to the sister-in-law and the sister-in-law talks to the
Mm.
mother, but that could be tricky. I just feel like you have to have a strong forefront with your husband. Like this is our family. What do you want to do with your family? Let's just put that in the
Right. What do
like
you want?
on the table.
And
Yeah, asking your husband, like, do you want to be at your mom's house and doing, you know, this and then that, or what do you want? Not what does your mother-in-law want. Obviously, we want to honor, you know, our mother-in-law because she's family, but again, you and your husband, you are your own nucleus. You are a unit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think it starts there.
I agree. I love that. And I love the way that you worded that. You're your own little unit, right? And I think talking about what is important to you, right? Because a lot of the stuff that whether you love your mother-in-law or you don't, right? And maybe they love us or they don't, whatever,
Mhm.
what can you let go of, right?
Mhm.
Especially as we get older. What is really, like, if you're going to make her famous cherry pie, like, what does it
Mhm.
matter, right? Or if she wants to open up one gift on Christmas Eve, is
Yeah.
that really going to make a difference in your family? If it's going to bring that person a lot of joy, can
Right.
you let it go, right? I
It's
think
almost like with your kids, picking and choosing your
uh-huh,
battles, right?
right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you got it. And
Yeah.
then also about we've talked about this before, is about having those boundaries. And I think
Mhm.
setting those boundaries and making them a little bit clear. Because as we get
Mhm.
older, I'm more apt to say, you know what, that's actually not what we're going to do. Right.
Mhm.
Is it more confident that we are, or more, I don't know what it is, but there are just some
Confidence.
things,
Yeah.
confidence or in our family. And also, we only have so much time also for our little family to be in one
Mhm.
home. And so there are certain things that are, that are non-negotiables for you and your family. Right. And
Right.
I think your mother-in-law, whoever you bring in, we're just saying mother-in-law, maybe it's your father-in-law, maybe it's
Mhm.
whoever, your cousin-in-law,
Mhm.
having those boundaries and having adult conversations around it. Right. But that's hard.
Yes. That is a hard one. And I I'm here for you if you want to vent into my DMs in my Gmail.
Contact
Into my
Nicole.
yes, contact me. I will handle it.
Well, so
Yeah.
do we have any, like, do we have any sort of, I guess, how do we navigate some of that stuff, right? Because we do, for the most part, our
Mhm.
families are, it works and everyone's
Yeah.
really respectful. But have there been any situations, I think, where you've had to navigate something that maybe wasn't totally comfortable?
And nothing with in-laws. I'll be 100% honest.
In-laws. Okay.
I think I'm very lucky in that respect.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, very, very lucky. So maybe my own family dynamics. My dad and I, we struggle, we have our differences, and it's okay. I have done my inner work with it. But
Mm-hmm.
before I, did my work, I definitely struggled on like making space for him
Mm-hmm.
when he didn't deserve it. And he would always ask. And when I finally started saying no, I got pushback not only from him, but from my aunt. And
Mm.
it wasn't his sister, it was his sister-in-law. And so I just told her, I need you to stop being the middle person
Mm-hmm.
because
Wow.
I I'm also very comfortable telling people how I feel. So,
Or having a little bit
yeah.
of conflict, you mean? That's good. I like that.
Yes, I'm okay with confrontation. As I get older, I'm a little bit more politically correct
But you're
about
not
it,
just
but
doing it to do it. Like, you really felt this in
yeah.
your heart. Like, you felt it with your whole body. It was something that was important to you. So it's not just doing it
Yes.
willy-nilly, like feeling passionately about it. And I'm proud
Yes.
of you for doing that. How'd that go?
Thanks. Well, I ended up telling her I need you to stop, and then I agreed to giving him this space to come over, and I regretted it instantly, and that was my final straw. So it was almost like not on the follow through train. So
Yeah.
also if there's no follow through train, like people will push and push and push a little bit, if they see
Mm-hmm.
that they can
Mm-hmm.
do that. So, but she hasn't asked me. She did. She stopped after that one
Wow.
because we did have one more conversation. But yes,
But
that's.
I think they're not just around the holidays, but that
Mhm,
stuff happens with family too. Like,
mhm,
I've said before, when we often travel with our family, we get a different
mhm.
house, or because, when my kids were little, it
Yes.
was just sort of a lot, right?
Hmm.
Having those sort of boundaries. I think for my family, if you interview them, I'm probably the problem because because I would want everyone to be
Ooh, tell
together.
me more. Like grab some popcorn.
Contact contact my sister-in-laws, right? Or my sister, because I'm the one that, wants everyone together all the time to do everything. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I would make an agenda. I would make a meal plan. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
literally. And people would be like, Alix, like, that's a
Yeah.
little much. We need
Mm-hmm.
some downtime. Right.
Yeah.
And, I'm not good with downtime. This girl doesn't have a ton of downtime. Better as I get older. But in thinking, even that, I view that as learning about myself a little bit more. One time it was
Mm-hmm.
my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, was like, you have a lot of energy, but not everyone has that, right? And not
Mm-hmm.
everyone. So sometimes we want things to be a certain way for us, but that's not how everyone else wants to
Mm-hmm.
do it, right? Just like,
Well,
eh,
yeah. How'd you feel when your sister-in-law said that? Were you offended, or were you like,
well,
oh,
I
like
love
a little
her.
self-awareness? Yeah.
She's probably the only person, and I know she listens. She's probably the only person that could say that to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
um, no, I think as I get older, I appreciate that, right? And again,
Mm-hmm.
it's self-reflecting, like, oh, maybe I was a little much for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because when I was younger, I had these expectations of the holidays and how it would be, and it was supposed to be this way. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something as we get older, it's holding on to the things that really matter. No one's going to
Mm-hmm.
remember if you have the perfect place setting. I mean,
Right.
or well, maybe me, but
Right.
because I did
But only
it.
you. Yep.
But only me, but no one, it doesn't matter. We don't have to serve a certain thing. And it's about being together. And I think that's how you maneuver these tricky situations. I guess to bring it back about the question from a listener
Mm-hmm.
is, like you said, looking at the big picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And reflecting upon those things. If you have family traditions that really matter,
Yeah.
recently my sister asked if we could get together Christmas Eve. And I was like, it's a hard stop.
Yeah.
And it's a hard stop because we have a tradition of going to the holiday pops, the Boston Pops every year, and we go to a restaurant after. And that's sort
Mm-hmm.
of our tradition. So maybe now that I talk about this out loud, we have, you have had some things where we have evolved, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I agree. And, you know, keeping in with, evolving and your family and keeping things tight. I think you said something earlier that struck a chord. Like, we just have so little time with
mm,
our littles, our little
our
nucleus.
littles,
Like, it's
yeah.
it's like this little bubble that you only have for such a little short time. Really, you think like, oh, it's so long, but really, it's not. Like, our oldest are going to college in 4 years. Like that.
Okay,
Like,
just be quiet.
okay, okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you cry.
Let's not talk
but
about that. You know what it
but
could be
yeah, like
also?
it's. Go ahead.
It's oh, I was saying, in thinking about what you're saying about the time and just, time feels more limited.
Mhm,
What about bringing your in-laws or your whatever, your family into what, inviting them in a little bit more, right?
mhm,
And maybe not, blocking them out as much and just inviting them in. Like I'm an
mhm,
over inviter, right? I would love
mhm,
for my mom and my mother-in-law and our whole family to be here. But
mhm.
sometimes people just like, maybe they don't want to come, but they like being invited, right?
Yes, that is. You just hit the nail on the head. Yes, everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants to be invited. Everybody wants to be included.
Uh-huh.
And, sometimes you invite the person knowing that they're going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they feel good and welcomed and
And include it. And
that's
maybe if you
and
have
included.
difficult
Yeah.
family that you have obligation to have them,
Mhm.
maybe only have them for 2 or 3 nights. That's my advice. Maybe they don't
Yeah.
stay for a whole week. That's too much.
Oh, that's too much. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot when you like love somebody and love hanging out with them. It's disruptive. It's enjoyable, but it's hard. I can't
Yeah.
imagine like somebody that you don't like for an entire week.
No, but I have a friend that says like our hard and fast rule is
Mhm.
3 nights. One of my good friends here, and
Mhm.
literally her
But
in-laws have stayed at a hotel. Nicole, like
how do you
they
put
have.
that into place though? Like, oh, you can only stay for 3 nights. How about
Her husband did it. Her husband did it. I was like, she told me this, I forgot, a month ago, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
I won't say her name, but wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive. And I feel like if
Yes.
you put those boundaries, you almost like people respect you like a little bit more, right? Like that's our
For
limit.
sure. Yes.
or it's going to go too long and it's going to actually maybe affect our relationship, right? Like if that's your rule in your house and that's what you do, it's talk about it in a nice way, but make it clear and then enjoy that time that you do have. If you have 2 or 3 nights, like really like own that time, and enjoy it.
Yes. The holidays are hard enough.
The holidays are.
Yes, they really are.
So speaking about hard, you said this topic was going to be a little bit hard. And I think this other topic of sort of, the holidays are great and special, but it also can be hard for people. I know we've talked about a little bit of grief during the holidays. 2 types of grief, really. The grief of, like you were saying, our kids not being little anymore, right?
Yes. That's
and
every year I feel like it's like harder at the beginning of the season, I feel like, because you're just like, okay, it's bringing out the decorations and it's just not as like, they're not asking for it. It's just not as like the magic, like keeping the magic. And I struggle with it more than I ever thought that I would. Like, I really miss them coming down and like just being so excited. And are you going to cry?
I could if we talk about this for too long.
Okay.
I agree with you. I agree. And so this is the first year I feel that, and I'm trying to reconcile it a little bit, Nicole, in terms of what can I do to bring that back almost, but make it like, it's like adjusting to your norm, right? Like we have to adjust to like,
You're making me
I wish I lived next door. We have to adjust to like our, 46-year-old midlife bodies. We need to adjust to the new norm of these kids. Like I know both of ours like to play video games and they're like in their room. So I was thinking about this over Thanksgiving, and I booked my kids to go to the musical Elf. Now, I haven't told them, Nicole, right? So like
you don't tell them. Okay, because you'll get pushback. But once they get there, they're gonna love it. So just do it as like a surprise. Don't tell them.
So, but that's something that I probably, it's 7:00 at night on Friday. I probably, we can go to a fun dinner before. I probably couldn't have done that when they were little. Right. So thinking about these new things that you can do, you can stay up a little later, watch movies, some of those things, go see lights. I know your family goes ice skating. I think that's super fun.
Yes. We're like a snow sport family. So we all like to go ice skating. My oldest played hockey. Jerry plays hockey. I love ice skating. Like I want to take lessons and learn how to do like a triple toe cow sow.
Is it a pure? I thought it was a pirouette, or is that ballet?
That's ballet. A sow cow.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm like scared of ice skating. I don't know why. I'm like literally holding on to the ring. So
I love skiing and everything.
Oh, you're so funny. I mean, I do too. But so maybe it's about, Nicole, about thinking, well, first of all, we'll be really good grandmas, right? We've talked about this.
Hands down the best.
Like we are saying this now, and we're going to be like there. And I'll do whatever she wants to do, right? I won't bring any of my stuff. I mean, my
liar.
I know. My daughter-in-laws are either going to hate or love me. I'm not really sure.
We'll find out. No, I think
we'll find out. Hopefully not soon.
I think you'll be amazing.
But it's just more adjusting to this time, and it's just part of being, what I love to have a little 3-year-old that was like up at 5 a.m. on Christmas. I can't talk about that. Actually.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yes, now, yes, it was really hard then though. I mean, it was hard. Yeah. It was hard, but like, I look at pictures and I just like my little, my heart melts and I'm like, oh my gosh. But then I remember like how hard things were. But you know what, with each phase, I love this phase. I mean, they're so funny and
yes,
I just love being around them. But it's like, that, like that movie Inside Out. It's like with sadness, there's joy. Like they just go hand in hand. And
totally. And I think you see it at surprising times, right? Like I still feel like a little kid sometimes on Christmas morning, right?
I know.
And so
I try to peek.
Yes. Oh my God, you're so funny. My mom would like almost unwrap gifts, and I'm like, Mom, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't give her a bag because she'll already
Mhm.
know what's in it. Like, she'll already pre-open it.
Oh, that's so
Um,
funny.
but
No peeking,
maybe it's
Andrea.
just no peeking. Maybe it's it is just like thinking of those ways, being a little bit more conscious of ways to
Mhm.
bring out that like playful, joyful,
Mhm.
side of things a little bit more with your family. That's a
Yes.
positive of it, but
It is. It is. It's even though we're like teary-eyed and it's hard, it's still amazing at the same
it's still
time,
fun.
but it
Yes.
is. It is.
And I
And
can't wait.
then yeah, and then like Christmas has been a little bit harder too for us because we lost my mother-in-law and she was just such a central like point in everything that we did around holidays. And my family lives out of state, so I know I talk about Jerry's family a lot, but it was just they're like my parents are divorced and in separate states, and his were all together and always welcoming and warm. So not that I don't talk to my family, I just want to put that out there. But
Right, right.
I think having a holiday without a loved one is also extremely difficult. And what I try to do for Jerry is like bring in like her favorite dessert. There was
Oh,
a restaurant in Michigan called Bill Knapp's. I don't know if it was anywhere else. I don't even know if they have any more restaurants, but they have a warehouse, and it was like her special cake. It was called Bumpy Cake. And on Father's Day, I bring it in, and Christmas, we have it as dessert. So just honoring some of the people that, aren't with us anymore in their own special way, whether it's like, I don't know if you make your dad's crab cakes, but just having their presence somehow, like it doesn't have to be over the top, just like having their favorite Christmas cookie or something. That's how we honor like our loved ones that aren't here with
I
us.
love that. I love that.
I didn't think I was going to cry my first
I
time.
know. I'm like, I don't even know if I can really talk about my dad,
Okay.
but
You don't
he
have
was
you don't have to.
no,
I
it's
just know
okay.
it's in your cookbook. It's in your
It is.
cookbook.
It is.
Yeah.
It's my cookbook. I think my dad was, I think honoring,
Hmm.
loved ones with food is like, a big thing in our family.
Yeah, us
Um,
too.
but I think my dad's birthday is in December, and I will get him a
Mm-hmm.
birthday cake. Like it will say happy
Yes. Okay.
78th birthday, dad. Right.
Yeah.
I find, I find that to be a happy day. Try to do something, when it's a birthday
Hmm.
um, that's something that I would normally do, like live a
Yeah.
little deeper,
Yeah. And you want their
so
legacy to continue and for your
yeah.
boys to somehow feel connected to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah, and I
sure.
think we do a toast on Christmas Eve, and I think
Hmm.
it's just acknowledging all those
Hmm.
that we love that aren't there. Like, we have
Yes.
grandparents that aren't there. Maybe it's not even people that are just, in heaven, but people
Hmm.
that couldn't even be with us on that holiday, that can't
Right.
travel. Like,
Right.
my grandmother is in a nursing home, and I think about her. Her birthday's Christmas Eve, and
Yeah.
we honor her with making Swedish meatballs. And,
Yeah.
I think it's thinking about all those people. I just always think about you never want to be alone during the holidays,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
And in maybe thinking about in terms of the holidays can be joyous but also sad for some people,
Hmm.
looking out for those friends that may
Hmm.
need a little bit of extra TLC over the holiday
Yes.
season, right? A little
Yes.
bit of checking in, invite them even if they're not your bestie,
Hmm.
invite them to coffee, invite them to something. Um
Hmm.
because you never know what someone else is going through during the holidays. Or if someone recently passed, I will often
Hmm.
check in on them as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
so there's lots of ways to do that, but that's, Nicole, it's a
It's a
sadder
heavy.
reality. I know.
It
I know.
is. It is. It is. It's a sad reality. It's heavy, and it's another podcast.
It's
That,
another
yeah,
podcast.
it's another podcast. Yes.
Yay, that'll be a
Yeah.
great one. I'll bring some tissues for that
Yeah.
one.
We'll be prepared. I won't wear any makeup, and we'll all each bring tissues and
But I
honor our
do
loved ones.
think
But
the idea of acknowledging it, I think
hmm.
that can be even hard, Nicole, is
Hmm.
whether that's to yourself. You don't need to do, if you're not like us and you
Hmm.
want to make a whole cake or a whole,
Yeah.
whatever. It's maybe quietly finding that time during this
Hmm.
season to talk to them or to,
Yeah.
to acknowledge that they're
Yeah.
not there. I think that helps too.
Oh, 100%. I agree with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So, Alex,
Our, yeah.
I would love to hear your unsolicited advice.
Oh, so many good things from today. I would probably say that the advice would be um, to, with the holiday hustle and bustle, take some time to figure out your core family, what is important to you. And I loved your idea, Nicole, of talking to your husband. Even I was thinking bringing your kids into it. And what are their memories? Because sometimes what our kids remember is different than obviously what we remember or what's
Mm-hmm.
important to them. Sometimes my kids will be like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite thing of Christmas. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, what was that? When did we do that?
Mm-hmm.
So as our kids get older, bringing them into what makes our family a family and what makes our traditions important to us. And so that would probably be my advice
I
for
love your
today. What?
unsolicited
Oh,
advice. I
what's
think we
yours?
should just leave it there because I think you covered it.
No,
I may
what's
be
yours?
too emotional to have some unsolicited advice. Um, my unsolicited advice is to see the perspective of someone else, even if you don't necessarily like them.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Be
mean,
open.
be open. I mean,
Yeah.
this I think one of my strong suits is seeing the perspective of somebody else, even if I don't agree, whether it's the re, the listener's mother-in-law. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
probably just coming from a place of like sadness and maybe a little control from her,
Mm-hmm.
because she misses her son. Because just like
Mm-hmm.
Alix and I are sitting here crying over our toddlers, she may be feeling the same way too. And if you can just bring a little bit of joy into her maybe black heart, like,
Yeah.
you can do that for her. Or if it's a cousin that you don't get along with, you know, just trying to see somebody else and where they're coming from. You don't have to agree and you don't have to change your ways, and you can keep your boundaries, but just maybe just be a little bit more open to it.
More open because family's
Yeah.
family, right? I mean, we didn't choose
Yeah.
them, but they're our family.
Right. Exactly. Oh,
All right.
exactly. All right.
All
Have a
right. Go get
great
the
day.
tissues. I'll talk to you
Okay.
later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.